Well, Adrian, another great guest, and always fun to be on the podcast with you, my friend, and fun to have our new sponsor, Magic Mind. We've got a great offer. I know you've really loved it. I've really loved it. Made my Mondays better. Tell us again about the offer from Magic Mind.
Well, right now, Magic Mind is offering listeners of Anxiety at Work a special offer, a month free when you subscribe for 3 months. You go to magicmind.com/Jan Leading, JAN Leading, and use the code LEADING20. I've tried this out already. It works. I know it does. You get an extra 20% off on one order, or again, a month free when you subscribe for 3. Try it out. It really will bring down your anxiety, give you more energy during the day that's not jittery. All natural ingredients. We couldn't recommend it more.
Adrian, what a delightful guest, and boy, so much good stuff. I mean, this book that she's written, Powered by Me and Tuning Into Yourself.
Yeah.
Tons of great takeaways. I'm curious, what were 2 or 3 that you took away?
Yeah, let's start there with this idea of, our bodies and tuning into potential burnout. I love, how self-aware that she was and you were as well. Is look, no, this is what happens when I get close to burnout, and we just have to be aware of that. As she said, for generations, for years, we've known, people have known their bodies better than we do now, and we rely on our doctors to tell us. My mom had cancer 5 times in her life. So the first time she was in her 50s, so 40 years ago, and she went to her doctor and he goes, "No, you're perfect health." And she goes, "No, I'm not. There's something wrong." And keep looking. And she kept going back and back until finally they found breast cancer.
Wow.
And she was the one who told him there's something wrong. And she knew every time, every one of the 5 times, just incredibly tuned in. Are we tuned in to ourselves and knowing when we're getting to that point where we're about to burn out?
Yeah. I thought it was interesting when she said, know your history. She said, look, I'm the child of immigrants. And it was stability, security, and belonging. And knowing that was so important, guided a lot of the way she behaved, and also their expectations. In my culture, you're a doctor or an engineer, and I said, well, I'll do both. I said, of course, why wouldn't you? And then tuning into how other people react to you as well. I thought her story about I'd given the same or asked the same question of this nurse 3 times.
Yeah.
And she said, hey, there's something wrong here because I've answered this 3 times now. You keep asking. Yeah. Clearly, there's something wrong. I've always thought, those things where they put these doctors on these 36 hours.
It was
just, I don't want to be the patient at hour 34.
Yeah.
I want to be in the first couple of hours there.
And we work with a lot of hospitals, that are realizing now, well, that's the way we've always done it, and it doesn't make it right. And so that was really interesting what she was talking about growing up, but that self-awareness that when we grew up, we didn't know how to process things, so we just followed our influencers, our parents or others who we felt like, well, they know what we're talking about, and we don't do sometimes what we need to do. We also don't figure out how to process the hard emotions that are going on within us. Now let's turn to kind of when your tank is low. I thought this was really interesting. Burnout is not a personal failure. It's a wake-up call.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. Yeah. Pay attention. And that burnout is unmanaged stress. Isn't that interesting? Because if you're managing your stress and you're listening to your body, there's no reason for you to be burned out in most cases is what I took away from that. Yeah. And then, you asked that great question about boundaries, how important that is to set up boundaries and say, I can't say yes to everything, and those boundaries are helpful. And lastly, for me, was the human connection. Who are people that energize you and that say to you, hey, I've got your back. We can work through this together. I'm safe. I'm loved. I'm supported. I'm such a fan of that. COVID, I think, took so much of that away from us. It's so important to reinstate who's your tribe, who are the people that you can, really rely on, that will say, hey, you got to take a break. You got to take a break. Go to a hockey game.
Go to a hockey game and yell at somebody. That's great. No, and so good. And I think, even bringing up the politics at the end, this is going to be a stressful year. Let's just face it. Whichever side you vote for, or wherever you are in the world, this is a stressful year. And so be aware of that in your body, be aware of yourself, bring down those stress levels, and make sure you're doing those things that give you peace of heart and peace of mind. That's the idea.
Yeah.
And for us, Chess, really, who brings down our stress levels? It's Brent Klein, our producer. Nobody better.
Such a smooth transition. Well done there. Yeah, I mean, he really does. He takes this, mess that we give him, and he makes these beautiful podcasts for us. And of course, Christy Lawrence, she gives us great energy. She finds wonderful guests for us. And of course, we're always grateful for all of you that tune in and share the podcast with friends and family. If there's some good takeaways there, we so appreciate that. So if you like the podcast, please share it. We'd also love you to visit thecultureworks.com for some free resources to help you and your team and the culture where you work thrive.
That's right. And we love speaking to audiences around the world, virtually or in person, on the topics of culture, employee engagement, teamwork, resilience. Give us a call. We'd love to speak to you about your event. So, Chess, I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, I love the title of the doctor's book, Powered by Me. I just want to say, Adrian, I'm powered by you. So thank you very much. You reduce my stress. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Cheers.